I'm in my hole.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Escapists. Yes, the day has finally come. I've finally been caught for my crimes against humanity. Now, if you want to know what I did, I shot up a morgue. Honestly, I don't know why they're surprised. I mean, I did threaten to do it. I'm gonna shoot up a fucking morgue in a minute. Whatever the fuck a morgue is, I can't remember what they are.
It's like the places they store dead people before burying them or whatever.
Oh, shoot him again! But that's not important. But what is important is getting out of here. But with enough talking, let us begin. When I was on the main menu, I spent many hours, many decades, many centuries coming up with the perfect name for our character, and then it clicked. Bob, with a lowercase o. Oh yes, the only thing I can cook is noodles, why do you ask? The prison I'll be staying in is the Shankton State Pen. According to the difficulty, it should be a pretty mid-prison to escape from. But now finally, we can begin. As every prisoner is woken up by the bell, I knew what time it was. It was time for morning roll call. In every morning roll call, you have to remember to pay attention because in every single one, it shows 2 prisoners that are going to get their cell searched. But after that, it was time for breakfast where we could indulge in some dubious raw chicken. So everyone, pardon the Gordon Ramsay and the black in me because the chicken is raw, there's no seasoning, and it tastes like actual toilet water. But anyway, now I have to stop being lazy because now it is time for work period. Now I've got the janitor job. Now in this job what you have to do is you have to pick up puke, I think it is, off the floor. I honestly can't tell. But anyway, after doing this about 4 times, I was now free to do whatever I wanted for the rest of the period. Once I finished my job, I was now able to free roam the prison, so as I was walking down the corridor, I heard a fight, so naturally I went down to go see what happened, and I found this. A body. Now from this body, I was able to snatch up some duct tape and a very useful crafting note. At evening meal, I decided to see who was in here with me, and with me I found P. Diddy and Osama Bin Laden, so I knew I was the worst criminal in here. It was now exercise period, so I could try and get some bitches, and when I was on the equipment, I instinctively forgot which buttons to press. There was also a fight as well, but literally who cares, there's already been 2 other fights today. It was now shower period. Now they say don't drop the soap in prison, and you can only imagine my fear when I realised that I was in here with Chris Tyson. I can only imagine where his best friend is, Mr. Respectful. Later on I found a guy named Jeff. Now what did Jeff do? We don't talk about what Jeff did. When I found that duct tape, I knew exactly what I needed next. I needed a magazine so we can make a poster. Luckily, my next door cellmate, Mike, happened to have one for me. Once I had the poster, I had to go to the canteen to get 5 forks to help me break through the wall. I didn't really have that much time to help me break through the wall before it was time for evening roll call. At evening roll call, I picked up a job to beat up a guy named Caleb? I honestly can't tell. He's my next door cellmate and I got it from a guy named Jeff. Now honestly, so far, Salib has seemed like a nice guy, but not only do you not deny Jeff, but it was $15. And hey, $15 is $15. After evening roll call, I then spent the next hour or 2 in-game chipping away at the wall, so about 4 forks later, or as I probably should say, for fork's sake, yes, please kill me, we are finally through the wall. After putting the poster down and putting the forks away, I then decided to go to sleep. On day 2 on my way to breakfast period, I realised I have a wall with me and I had to go dispose of it properly down Chris Tyson's toilet. Let's be honest, it's probably the most normal thing he's had down there. While I was eating breakfast, I started to fiend and crave some real food. Rain noodles. After I did my janitor job, I decided to see what was in the prisoner stash that was behind my wall, and I found a lightweight shovel. Let's go. Overall though, day 2 was pretty uneventful. On day 3 I decided to try and sort out that knockout job for Jeff on Salib or Caleb. I really don't know. But anyway, as I went to go sort him out, this happened. He kicked my ass. And that's how I knew what my real objective was here. It was to kick the shit out of Caleb or Caleb. I still don't know how to pronounce it. But other than that, day 3 was pretty uneventful. On day 4 morning roll call, I had some real serious thoughts like, how long will I be in here for? How will I beat Caleb? And how will I get out? But all these serious thoughts immediately got cut off when I found out I was getting my cell searched. Well, shit. So even though I'd only been in here for 4 days, I still managed to rack up quite a lot of contraband, to the point where I couldn't fit it all in my inventory, so I had to stick some of it down the toilet. After finishing my janitor job, I thought it was finally time to start looking around the prison for potential escape attempts. Now after surveying the outside of the prison, I found out that my best possible plan of escape is to probably have to cut through the front fence here right next to the exit. Now to do this, I'm going to need a plastic purple key to get through the door, and either a file, a bunch of knives, or cutters to get through the fence. And with that, we had our plan. During shower period there was a fire and I managed to pick up a file off of one of the person's bodies. Now there was only one big problem. There is a contraband detector on the door. So what I had to do was, I had to wait till every single person had left the room, and then I had to make a mad dash back to my cell. I then went back to focusing on how I was going to beat up Caleb, and then it came to my mind, the nunchucks. And luckily for me, I actually happened to have the crafting recipe inside of my crafting notes. I also decided to put all my contraband items behind the wall just in case I got another cell search. About 30 seconds later, I had all the items I need to make the nunchucks. However, it was time for evening roll call, so I decided on making the nunchucks the next day. During work period, I actually unsuccessfully completed my job, which meant I ended up losing it. Luckily, about 30 seconds later, I was able to go get my job back. Let's go. However, after afternoon roll call, I realised all my contraband that was hidden behind the wall was gone. No matter, one restart later and it happened again. Okay, so one more restart later and finally we're good. Now one more thing I tried to do right before I got all my stuff taken was actually try to make the nunchucks. However, there's one problem. My character is retarded. So off to the library I went to bring up my intellect. And that overall is really what the next few days became. Reading, showering, reading, exercising, watching a fight, reading. Till finally, we had enough intellect, so I went back to my cell, made the nunchucks, and now, we were ready. So now I was pondering, waiting, and scheming, and waiting for the right time to strike. I thought to myself during shower period, the perfect time to strike would be evening free period, and luckily for me, and unluckily for Caleb, that was right next. I did it. I finally kicked the shit out of Caleb? I still don't know how to fucking pronounce it. But that's not important. But what is important is that I went to bed as a very, very happy clown. As I woke up on day 7, I realised I'm still in prison, I've still got no way out for the foreseeable future outside of a little basic plan I've got, and until then, I don't know, but what I do know is, get fucked, Caleb.